Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, Junkman, coming back at you. It's noontime. We're going to talk about something I don't hear many people talk about, even the Star Wars fans out there. Now, as y'all know, Star Wars became a comic book, not just a movie, but a comic book series starting in 1977, where they took the movie, turned it into a comic, and then it was an ongoing series until 1985, released by Marvel. And I always loved these comics because I didn't read every issue as a kid, but I read some here and there. And in the early 90s, I went back, probably around 93, 92, 93, 94. Went back and started buying up all these old ones. And back then, you could buy them two for $1 sometime. So it was really a lot of fun. Just going to comic book stores, have my checklist of which ones I needed. I got every issue. I'm glad I did, because around 97, when Star Wars came mainstream again with the special editions released, they really took off, and some of them are pretty pricey now, especially some of those based on the movies. And that last one, that I think it's 107, that was the hardest one to find right there for me. But I like them because they lead into the other movies. You can read the Star Wars comic from the movie, and then it slowly leads into the events of Empire Strikes Back. But I'm going on and on about that. You don't need to know about that. You know how comic books work. But in the early 90s, around 93, 94, I believe it was, Dark Horse Comics came back with Star Wars, and everyone was like, Star Wars is back as a comic book. And it was a great comic book, Dark Empire. If you hadn't read that, that's one of the best Star Wars comics out there. But a lot of people don't know, between the end in 1985 and Dark Horse taking over, there was another series of Star Wars comic books, and it wasn't released by Marvel or Dark Horse. It was released by a company called Blackthorn, and this was a series of 3D comics. I've got issue 1 right here. Now, don't worry, I normally have a backboard and a bag and everything. I'm not a loser. But these were tough to find. Now, thanks to eBay, they're not as hard to find. But I remember picking this one up in probably around 93 at a comic book store, and it blew my mind. I was like, what is this? A 3D comic book? Well, that's not the part that blew my mind. It was just that it was a Star Wars comic I didn't know about. As you can see here, the comic pages inside are in 3D. Put on your 3D glasses. They look really cool. I love looking at this. Now, I didn't read much of the storyline, but from what I remember, in this first issue, Luke Skywalker goes back to Tatooine. Him and Han Solo go back. Maybe the droids are with him too. They go back. No, Chewbacca is. They go back to Tatooine. Why? Well, Luke has some legal matters, because it seems his uncle and aunt left him the farm. But he doesn't want to take over the farm. He wants to go into being a rebel, being a Jedi, and killing the Empire and everything. So what does he do? He looks for a guy, or looks for someone to take over the farm. And he finds this old guy in a cantina. I don't remember his name right now, but he finds an old guy in the cantina. The guy in the cantina didn't, from what I understand, he was once a farmer. He was a moisture farmer from another planet, but then the Empire took over his farm. And he was hiding out on Tatooine, and he didn't trust Luke. He was like, something's up with this kid trying to give me a farm for nothing. I only think Luke was trying to sell it, which is, he probably could have got some money to help, the rebels buy some new ships or something. But then a fight breaks out because some people recognize Chewbacca and Han Solo. Stormtroopers show up. They narrowly escape. And once they escape, the guy thinks, oh, this Luke Skywalker guy, he's not really such a bad guy after all. Maybe I'll take his farm. And he takes his farm, and that ends episode, or comic book 1. There's only 3 of them. And it takes place just a few days or weeks after the end of the first movie, Star Wars. So right after the Battle of Yavin. And let's go ahead and show. I like cover. Okay, I had to do an edit there because I picked up the wrong one. Number two, look at this one. This is an exciting one. And look at the back of it. Rambo in 3D. Look, Rambo 3 in 3D. How about that? I might have to get that issue. That sounds exciting. But this is a cool cover. Got Han Solo on there. I don't know if I think that's Luke Skywalker. I'm not really sure. But there we go. Star Wars 3D issue number 2. And I'm trying to remember exactly what this one's about. I know it has Luke, Han, Chewbacca, maybe the droids. I can't remember the droids, but they're looking for a new place now that they can't. They head back to Yavin after the events of this one and finds out that the base is abandoned. There's Imperials there, Darth Vader's there. So they try to find the rebels. They meet up with them, and the rebels are trying to find a new base. And Han says, hey, how about this place called Hoth? The Empire will never think of looking us for it. The Empire will never look at Hoth for it. So they go to Hoth to check it out. There they run into some smugglers that want to take Han Solo and get the bounty on him because he still has a bounty on his head. And I don't know what else. They get into a little adventure with those smugglers. And then they work everything out. Remember, Luke uses his lightsaber for some reason. I think he breaks down the cave they're in. But at the end, they think, hey, this Hoth, it could work as a good place to hide out from the Imperials. So that's that story. And let's look at a little inside here. As you can see, 3D. 3D coming at you, right? There was one. I really like these 3D. They look really good when you put on your glasses, man. And here's something interesting. Look at that. Admiral Akbar. And this takes place during the Empire, right before Empire. So it's cool they put him in there. But that's number 2. And then we have the last. I like this cover here. I need to frame these and put them on the back. I really love the artwork on these. Number 3 of 3. There's only 3 of them. And you know, when I was buying these in the 90s, I had a price guide that said there was 3 of them. I asked the guy that owned the comic book store. He's like, I only seen them 1. I've never seen 2 or 3. And there's a lot of people out there that said 2 and 3 was never released. That's how hard they were to find. You hardly ever came. If you ever came across one, it was always issue 1. And I didn't get 2 and 3. I didn't get these until the days of eBay. I mean, I looked at comic book stores. I looked out of town, in town, out of town. I would go to comic conventions and stuff. Anywhere I could never find it. Couldn't even find out it was real until the days of the internet. But anyway, we got issue 3, the final issue here. And try to remember with us. I know Luke encounters Darth Vader. Well, he meets some Force-sensitive people, and he wants them to train it. He's like, hey, train me to be the ways of the Force. I had this master, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he died on me, so I don't really know much of the Force. Train me about the Force. And they're like, okay, we'll train you. But what we know, but Luke doesn't know, is they're working for Darth Vader. That's right, they're working for Darth Vader. Luke touches the leader's hand or something, and he connects him to Darth Vader, and he's like, what? You're working for Darth Vader, and he gets mad, and he acts out on the dark side, and this pleases Darth Vader. Darth Vader's like, I'm going to have to train this boy. So this is where Darth Vader kind of is like, hey, I got to find this guy. I got to train him. And look, he's still wearing his New Hope outfit. Come on, Luke, change clothes. Now, I remember, I think R2 and Leia come, and they rescue Luke. And Darth Vader's like, that's my prodigy. That's the guy. I got to train that guy. And that's why he starts seeking out trying to find Luke Skywalker. But here's some more pictures on the inside right there. It's kind of like some lost Star Wars history that you really don't hear anyone talk about. Everyone talks about the Marvel comics and the Dark Horse comics. Look at that. Wouldn't you love to see that in 3D? I know you would. Look at this one here. An ad in 3D. I like that one. But there we go. We got all three, and this one does have a different ad on the back. It has Transformers. I should have showed that. But we have issue 1. Issue 1. I don't like this. Is not the best cover, but it's okay. It's okay. But then we have issue 1, and then we have issue 2. I like this cover. I like this cover right here, and issue 3. But I think I like 2 the better. But these look good framed just because they're so. I like the oddball stuff. But that's I thought I'd throw that out there. It came out for the 10th anniversary in 1987. Again, I don't hear many people talk about it or reference it. I guess, it's probably leaves a bad taste in some people's mouth because it's a 3D comic. It was hard to read. You couldn't, you can read with the glasses on. It was hard to read, and you take the glasses off. It wasn't that hard to read, but sometimes it would hurt my eyes. So it wasn't like something I read and kept up with like some of the other ones. But I wasn't sure out there how many people knew this comic. Maybe you had it as a kid. Maybe you had all 3 and loved them. Or maybe you found out about it later like I did. But anyway, that's a look at the 3D Star Wars comics from 1987 that most people don't even know about. So if you're into collecting Star Wars comics, pick those up. Because I do think, although they're pretty easy to find on eBay for $10, $15, sometimes cheaper than that, I think they might be the one that one day people's going to say, man, why didn't we get them when we could have? Because right now, no one knows about them. And 10 years, 20 years from now, they're going to dry up and people's going to want them. So anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know if you had these, what you thought about these. And I guess that's it. I want to thank you for watching. As always, thumbs up, like my content, subscribe to the channel. We'll talk again soon.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.